we go. Yeah, she's in for a thing when she turns out it's Windy Miller's place. Good evening or good morning, depending where you are around in the world. Here we are for another live lockdown show. Another week. In other news, I think that the new strain might be a bit of a problem, so we're all going to get locked down for another year. But never mind. Everyone's getting used to it now. Everyone's enjoying the lockdown, apparently. Anyway, we're with you for the next sort of couple of hours. Obviously, it is Q&A day, as you can see, so we've got some questions which we'll post up in there as well. We do a little bit of building. I'm waiting on a load of orders to turn up because none of them have turned up today. And I know Matt's about to speak to people, if you can get hold of them.
if they ever ring back.
If not, he'll be out with his flaming pitchfork shortly. And to get them and everything else. Anyway, are we good? How was your weekend, Andy?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Quiet weekend. I was on with you on Saturday, so
well, yeah,
Saturday afternoon. So that was my day taken up then. Yeah, quiet Sunday, and then at work yesterday, doing boxing up, weren't we?
Yeah, lots of orders.
Lots of orders,
which went out as well, didn't we?
Yeah, and then today working from home, which is lucky because we were pretty much snowed in this morning, weren't we?
Yes, I was until 10 o'clock when I decided to venture out, brave it. It's all about melt. I think, well, it's not melted, but it is melting the roads all right, actually. So, yeah. But yes, we have had a spattering of snow overnight again, which is like uncalled for, unprecedented, isn't it? Because last time we had 2 lots of snow was probably 1975 or something.
And here, to be honest, it's just warm, wet and windy. So no change there. It's actually blowing a gale out there now. The wind's got proper up in the last hour, but it's nice and mild. It's about 11 degrees. So talk about a bit of a difference. Positively Mediterranean down here.
Get your sunblock on.
This is, that's it. Be factor 20. Don't want to burn.
Just being in lockdown, by the way. It is officially Groundhog Day today.
Oh, is it? What, the official Groundhog Day?
Probably, yeah. Apparently so, from what I was told from Leslie. So
International Groundhog Day, yeah, definitely. So anyway, look, good weekend. I must admit, I did loads of Sanders on Sunday. So I was sat in front of the TV on the floor, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of Sanders, watching Le Mans, the 1971 film.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, I tell you, it's good because when they're crashing them cars, it's not CGI, is it? It's real. So, and there's not much talking, to be honest. It's just engine noise and long pauses and long stares, isn't it, that film? So, and then it's back to the action. But after a while, you feel like having a bit of an epileptic flip with all the cuts that they do to it to make it look like they're going quicker than they are. But anyway, so yes, that was my sort of weekend. And then yesterday, we were busy in the morning doing lots of bottling and stuff. And the afternoon, I must admit, we got the dogs out for a good couple of hours as well, because they were sort of climbing the walls a bit. So, yes, very nice like that. And then today, I've been on with reviews. So we have a review up for you, which is this one, which is a little belter. Very, very nice. Yeah, it is. It's a lovely little kit. Very, very nice job. And so you get a couple of options. You've got the chromey hubs or, rims, or you've got the normal white version, got the stuff. And I wasn't sure about this pinstriping, how they're going to do it. But what they've got is decals for it. And again, they look quite thick, but I think they have to be because it's very thin gold trim, piping on that one. So if it isn't, it's going to look fadey and rubbish. But it looks very, very nice on that. So you get a nice bit of photo etch as well. So there's a big chunk of photo etching with it and stuff. So yeah, I must admit, very nice job. I didn't say it's an iconic thing, isn't it, really? It's got a full engine.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So, yes, I must admit, I don't think I've got this one on here. Hold on, where's the review thing? Hold on, I've got the photos from that as well. So that's up here if you want to go off and see. But yeah, no, look, you get a nice bit of photo etch. And then there's the decals. So very nice little shell with it all in there.
So tiny, isn't it?
It is a little lump, yeah. Say it's got nice. It's funny because you've got this sort of Y-shaped chassis.
Yeah.
They did that. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
I wondered if it twisted at all.
It's a bit Volkswagen Beetle-esque, because that is if you take the floor pans off.
Yeah. So that's a little bit different. But yeah, see, you've got like, you know, your normal sort of white, or you can do your chrome with your rims, chromed fuel tanks. I don't know if they're like that in the real thing, but anyway, I doubt it. But the tyres really nice as well. No centre seam on the tyres, so they're actually, there's no markings on the tyres, tyre sizes or anything else like that. But there's no centre seam in the middle of it, so there's nothing to sand off with that one. So that's quite nice. The clear parts, typical Tamiya, absolutely beautiful. They are crystal clear, sharp. And then obviously, as you see, you can see that in the instructions of various ways. So yeah, actually, very, very nice car. Very tidy, proper tidy, bang tidy. So that's there. And then obviously yesterday we had probably the best way, actually I think that's all right, hold on, yeah, there we go, we can come in here. The first part of the SH60 went up as well, so really that just covers all the construction part of the actual interior in there and going through, which is pretty good. A couple of tips and tricks in there to pick up, a couple of details to point out, but generally going together really nicely. It still is, as you can see down in here. So the next part of that obviously will go up on Friday, which will get you to, if I show you in here, hold on, let me change the camera, which will get you into here. So as you say, we've done the harnesses now are in, it's starting to get weathered. Starting to add some detail into that one for the insides, and we've got the cockpit. There you go, look, it's all falling off, and going through the motions of it. But yeah, so it is coming together. As I say, we've got the interior bits all starting to do the weather on it and everything else. So that's coming through, coming along very, very nicely. So far, I have to say, thumbs up. It's all going very, very well. Nothing to complain about on that kit at all at the moment, which is unusual, because it's not two things that normally happen with Kitty Hawk. Normally I've got something to moan about within the first 10 minutes. But so far, again, nice that you have to clean it up. A couple of little bits. It's a bit like these bits in here. You know, when you first test it, don't go. That's because these aren't opened up properly. They're sort of opened up, but they're not opened up fully. So when you try and just push it on, it doesn't go. So open them up and then they fit. No problem at all, as does most of the other holes on this thing. But that seems to be, and I can't just blame Kitty Hawk for it. That's pretty much with any manufacturer these days. It seems to be, unless obviously it's the proper AAA companies, but if you've got anything with a pin and a socket type thing, doesn't really seem to fit that well. But no, anyway, good job on that one. So yes, good job. To be honest, I haven't got the chat on. Let me put the chat
just
on.
In the YouTube chat, Richie says, will Matt's E-Type build be on the site? Yes, it will, in full cinematic video.
Yeah, don't big it up.
Technicolor.
Glorious Technicolor. No, can't we do it in sepia, black and white?
No.
Sepia.
Yeah, do it in sepia.
With all the like crackly lines on it.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't actually see what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, this kit's absolutely fantastic and goes together no problem at all. Next week, added glue. I'm going to do one of those one day. I'm going to do a voiceover. Mr. Chumbly Warner builds a kit.
Niels
hello.
also asking, do we know anything about the Razor Quest from Mandalorian? Rebel one.
Yeah,
That's
Rebels.
tomorrow. What about it?
Allegedly.
As in what?
We know it's coming out, and it's 1/72 scale, then it's coming out.
Don't know when.
So the question is, do you think, when we're assuming it is Rebel's own kit and it's not like their third party in from somewhere else, because obviously it only got destroyed in back end of Series 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So do you think they didn't know that was going to happen, or they did? Do you think Rebel would have been told that actually it's only going to be in 1.5 series?
Are they doing a Series 3?
I would have thought so.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, well then it'll come back because it was just all a dream.
No, that was Dallas.
Same thing. It works on every other show, doesn't it?
He got abducted by aliens.
Why would they actually kill off then the sort of star prop? I don't all answer at once. Why
Well,
give me
I haven't seen Series 2, so I can't answer.
I've never watched The Mandalorian, so I've got no idea what it is, apart from there's a little Yoda type character and a man in a helmet walking around. So, but but take it like it's like Star Trek blowing up the Enterprise, or
Well, which they have done a few times.
Battlestar Galactica going, isn't it?
Which they have done a few times as well.
So
Once.
I know why they've done it. Because he's going to get Slave 1, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, he's moved on to a form of slave now, isn't it? So.
Yeah, well, he is on Slave 1, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you the story, sir.
So we know now, don't we?
Apparently, the Razor Crest is out. Allegedly.
Hey?
Well, it's saying here the Razor Crest is out.
Is it?
Apparently. According to Ralph.
Where is it out?
I don't. Well, he says it's on scale, mate. So it's only what I'm reading, just literally off the chat. So.
Okay. Don't believe it.
So yes.
Not out till.
So I don't know when the kit's coming out.
I think
I don't know if it's first quarter, second quarter. I can't remember. We did have a thing up with it, to be honest. Anyway, we've got some ordered.
Oh, right. Actually.
Yeah. Actually, what?
Does it look as good as the one you could 3D print us? Because to be honest, we've been waiting for it. It'll be quicker to wait for the Revel one to come out.
It's not listening.
I'm listening.
He's pretending not to listen.
It's got it up.
Yeah.
They're all pre-order.
Yeah, it's not out yet. Else we would have probably heard about it anyway. We need to see it to see what it's like, really, don't we?
Yes.
So
with Revel, it could go one of two ways, couldn't it?
No, wait. Now I've built in their E-Type.
Yeah, I was going to say, Matt's now converted to. That's going to be Kit Manufacturer of the Year once Matt's finished. You do realise for the 2021, that's the title they're going to get.
Yep. Everything I've said before, I'll take it all back.
He takes it all back, yeah.
You know.
Not by the time I've edited the video,
Hey.
I'll edit swear words and all sorts in it.
Yeah, you're going to overdub it.
Yeah, that's it.
like a bad foreign movie. That'd be good. I got to do that. I would be bad lip sync.
Bless. Right, should we just pass straight into the questions because we've got quite a few today. First off, I will just say, because I've been saying it till I'm blue in the face, but some members, this is just purely for the members, but I have posted up a thing for the EU members. If you're a member of Flory Models and you have a paying subscription, please go into the announcement section in the forum and read it. It's really, really important because, yeah. You're going to get kicked out.
You will be the weakest link.
You will be the weakest link, yeah. You know, as I say, I'm doing my bit for you guys, so you just need to help me out on this one as well. But as I say, it was like quite a few yesterday. Unfortunately, you had to leave us because, again, I have no option on this. So, yeah, so you get kicked.
Otherwise, Phil will be spending 3 months in Dartmoor prison.
Yes.
Which you don't want to be doing.
Which, to be honest, is only up the road from me, and I walk the dog around there. But it's as much as I love Princetown, especially in this weather, it's the last place on earth you really want to be, especially if you're in there with Mr. Big. Anyway, I don't want to be his plaything, age 50 almost. I'm out of soap on a rope as it is. Anyway, so if you could do that, please, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Right, Andy says, hi Phil, I'm a long-time subscriber and I thought I don't post in the forum very often. I do watch the shows and the live shows. Why, thank you. I don't like to watch them in order, but during the lockdowns, I've fallen way behind. Okay, that's the trouble. There's so much up at the moment, I know what you mean. Keep up the entertainment. As for the 1st of January, I was only viewing videos from mid-September. That's it. I think we didn't we say we were averaging almost 3 a day at one point last year.
Yeah. Something like
so
that,
it's quite a lot to get through. So from the 1st of January, I decided to skip the old ones. Thankfully, I'm now managing to keep up to date with your brilliant shows. But I've heard you mention about the 2021 mugs. Hold on, that was October, wasn't it? We started on that one. Have I mate? Sorry, Andy, you've missed. It's long gone, that one. As I say, that we do a pre-order in usually end of October into November, and then they all go out first week in December. We've done it the last few years like that, and there was social media posts. I put it everywhere for it, but because we pay for the mugs up front, the mugs are then sent here, then I send them out. It's not like some people have mentioned about us using merchandising companies where you basically pay them and I get a kickback from it, and that's how they do it. It's an option I might look into for next year, but for the moment the way we do it is that you pre-order I get them all in, and then you pay for them, and that's how it works. So we do it in one big, large lump. If we have any left over, then we tend to let them go out to members who've then come along for like a second batch run if there's any available, because we always get a few more in case of breakages and that. But unfortunately, the second batch, there was no real second batch because we didn't really have any breakages. So people who are on the waiting list got the ones that remained as left over. So yes, so hang around about end of October this year, and we'll be doing it again. Andy Moth says, hi Phil, when Pramjit is back on, please ask him if Airfix are willing to do 72nd and 48 scale pilot sets. Okay, who does those? Does anyone do sets of them? Pilot sets?
Not anymore. Revell did a few sort of pilot sets, but that was a long time ago, but I don't think they do. And obviously you get ICM do 48 for 30-second piloty things, don't they, on their own?
Yeah, Fujiyami and Hasegawa, I think, did you say some 70 seconds back in the day?
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Airfix not looked into it and gone, I don't think we'll make any money on this, so we're not bothered.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like Pramjit said, though, the figures that they put are like the generic figures, aren't they, on their sprues? He doesn't go into it and create a figure. No. The generic one that they put on the sprues. So.
Yeah, so you got a Spitfire pilot flying a
Typhoon.
Typhoon, yeah.
Leather helmet and goggles. Maybe Airfix could make an STL file for their pilots available for home printing. That will never happen. They'd be the first mainstream manufacturer to do this, but then technically they're giving away something. Yeah. What you're noticing with companies is they don't get anything for nout. There's nothing free in this world. Somebody's paying for it somewhere. Anyway, the tricky part would be if they can monetize Airfix, not a charity. There you go. You've answered your own question on there. That's the thing. As for aside, Airfix should release an F6F 124 scale engine as separate kit, as per the HK Lank. It was a work of art on its own. Typhoon
you can
engine
get
as well.
You can get it if you spend £100. You get the engine, but you get a free
kit.
Yeah, kit.
You get fuselage and wings to go with it.
Yeah, fuselage and wings go with it. To be honest, who was it who was doing the 1/6 scale engines? They did a Mustang engine, and I think they did the double Wasp thing, wasn't it? The Pratt and Whitney.
HPH did some engines.
Was it HPH? Someone did. Somebody in live chat will know. But there was a company who were just doing engines standalone. They were about that big. Quite nicely detailed ones.
HPH. I think HPH did some engines definitely on their own. I remember seeing them at Telford on one of the stands. So yeah, I don't know. But as in for an injection molded one, again, it's gonna have to make them money in it, and it probably won't on its own. It's going to be a bit niche, like we've been saying, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Because those engines, I must admit, I saw them at Telford a few years ago now, and I looked at them and I did think that'd actually be quite an interesting project to do, because they came on a very nice little stand as well. Yeah. It's just about the right size that you could do some nice creative things with it. And but yeah, I must admit, I just don't think I've ever seen it for sale. So unless I've missed the boat on that one somewhere. Oh, look, there's a bit of a fit issue there.
Do you think? I don't. I think that's pretty good. Oops. Yeah.
Because actually, when you look at that one, it literally looks like we just need to push it down. It'd be fine. But then you look at the next one, you're like, oh no, it's not. Yeah.
That's a gap in it.
That's got.
To me, on the first photo, I just sand a bit of from the bottom corner, just sand it in a bit, and then that'll.
And just to be honest with you, looking at the bottom picture, I don't know if it should, but do you think like where the thing is at the front is a bit protruded? There's a bit of giving it to push it back a bit. I don't know how flush they are or anything on one of them, but yeah, it does look a bit like get a sanding stick and square it off a bit.
I think, it just needs a bit off the top here, I think, and that way it enable it to fall back.
Yeah. Like we were saying with Airfix kits, could probably do with a bit of fettling, aren't they, because of tolerances and stuff. I know that's not got any paint on it, but it does look a bit odd though, doesn't it? If the only other thing is plastic card, isn't it? Shimmy.
Yeah. To be honest, that was going to be my next one. If you wanted to, but I think you're right. It's hanging off the front, so it needs to be taken off some height at the back. I think it'll drop back. But normally it'll be.
One of them would be perfect.
You could do. We're out of stock of them.
All right, not one of them. About one of one of them.
No, don't do them anymore. To be honest, I'm waiting for the board ones to come in. They're on order. They just haven't racked up yet. But yes, no, that's what it needs. But again, if you've got a gap that size, seriously, don't even contemplate going in there with any type of filler. Plasticard, shim of plasticard. Just poke it into. If you make triangles, you can poke them in the hole, and then literally come in with a little bit of extra thin. Let it run down. Forget about it overnight. Come back the next day and just cut them off with a blade. Literally just cut them off with a knife all the way round and then just sand it, and it saves so much. No shrinkage, no problem with it at all, and it's a quick, easy job. But yes, that's definitely, if you get anything that's bigger than literally a tiny gap, I always just shove plasticard into it because it's a lot easier to deal with. But I think, as I said, that just needs a little bit of fettling, shall we say. I think a little bit of a sand off the top will allow the front to drop down and in a bit, which then will push that this area down the back should then close up. I'm not saying it's going to be a perfect fit, but it'll be a lot closer than that. So I can't remember that kit. Does it have a top and a bottom? I know I've got it there, but I can't be bothered to get it out.
I've got no idea.
Is it like a top and bottom halves come together? It's not sides, is it?
No, I don't know. It's sides, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. So
if it's top and bottom, it's a really nice
join.
Join, yeah.
So perhaps the sides then. So yeah, it may be just these two have pinched in, and then it just needs sanding back at the back there. So it may be just a case of square that off. So like Andy said, if you have got a board sander, just go into it from the front. So say this is the nose and that's the bit there, put the board sander, go in and just sand it and square off this top bit as it drops in, and that way it should push back into it.
Tell you what, them panel lines look like an old Matchbox kit.
Sand it. Do you know what I would like to say? But that does look a bit chunky, doesn't it? It looks like these have been hand done, doesn't it?
To be honest, I remember when it first got released, I think people mentioning how big the panel lines was. They've got a lot more refined since then, I think.
To be honest, from that angle, it looks like a star of the Death Star. You could do a trench run around that.
I tell you what, that, you know, when I was on about the 70-second Canberra the other day. That's the same. I think it's like early year fix when they started doing recessed. Yeah. And obviously we're over now. They've got their figure. They're a lot better now, obviously. But yeah, that was I'll tell you what, they'll hold a wash. Yeah. You won't have trouble with the wash in there. You might need a lot, but it'll be fine. So yeah, I just sand this top area on the plastic side here. Sand that. So put a sander, come in this way from the side and then block it and then try and take it off. And again, tiny bit, test it, tiny bit, test it. And then obviously, hopefully you get away with hardly anything needed in there. But it does look like it's out slightly. Well, let's just say, wait a minute, David's in chat. So if he goes and does it now while we're on, he can tell us how he's gone on. How he's got on with it. Because it's not going to take long just to swipe that with a sanding stick just to square it up, is it? No. No. So if he runs along and does it now, and then he can let us know if it works, and then we'll be fine. But obviously, the re-release of the kit, because it's going to be the same, so you're going to be like public information, man. Of this is how you fix that small problem. Yeah. There you go. Okay, Lauren says, "Hi Phil, I hope you're doing well. I'm thinking about an airbrush replacement. I've got 2 identical Evolutions. Is the Procon still a good alternative?" No, you want a Badger. Get a Badger airbrush now. Because he's ordered one. Can we get hold of Badger then? No, we can, but no, we can't because they've never got none in stock of them either. No, it is it. To be honest with you, I would. The Procon is a fantastic airbrush. Still using it, no problem at all with it. Love it to death, no problem. If I could get hold of another one, I'd have another one. So. Would you really? I would. Yeah, you're not. No. Actually, going back, just joking aside, you know, I have been using that Renegade Chrome. It's a really nice airbrush. I've never had Badger before. Never thought they're all a bit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got a Procon like you. It's up here, and I don't think it's ever been used yet. And my old Evo, but well, I've had that Renegade thing for how long and never used it. I might as well dig it out. And actually, it's not a bad airbrush. It's expensive, I think, to be honest. It's obviously the Procon's a lot more refined and better value. Yeah. But I'm actually quite impressed with the Badger. So there you go. Next time we send you your care package, Phil, I'll slip his Procon into the box. He'll never know. Yeah, he'll never know. That's it. Now he's a Badger convert. He'd be fine. Right. Okay. Soren says, "Hi Phil. Question about F-18 Hornets. I recently bought a 48 scale Hobby Boss F-18C for a very reasonable price. I also have the decal sheet and markings for Hornets in Spanish service.
What would be the to take it to convert it from the C version into an upgraded A, or is it the A plus? I think the Spanish ones are used by Spain. Judging by reference photos, I can see that the Spanish Hornets don't have the bird slicer, which is the IFF things on the nose, and if the vertical tails are different or not. There are any external differences. The great thing about the Hornet is roughly they all look the same. The major difference is literally, I just said on another show, is the tails for the radar warning receivers that are up on the tails. And obviously the A version is different from the C because it doesn't have the radar warning receivers behind the cockpit, it has two lumps and on the nose. The biggest problem you'll have, and it's one that very little people know about, which is good, is that they've all got different grills underneath the chin. So just behind the nose section, between the actual nose wheel gear and the front, there's loads of different versions of the grills that are in there. I think there's 4 or 5 different types, and that's the differences between the A plus and the C, and some of the foreign ones in there as well. Got different versions, but no one knows about it, and no one actually cares about it unless you're a proper rivet counter, because you can't really see it anyway because it's underneath. That's the difference onto it. But again, I must admit, I'm not up on the Spanish one. I have done this 2-seater Spanish one, but I can't remember what it was. And all the rest of it. It was a long time ago since I've worked it. So just check your references for that one against it. So you just want to see where the lumps and bumps on the outside are differently. Externally, A's, A pluses and C's, it's the same right the way over. It just depends on lumps and bumps on them. Because obviously they all got retrofitted with different things anyway.
So they don't the Kinetic one do the Spanish version then?
It will. You will be able to do it. The great thing about the Kinetic one, to be honest, is you can do all the versions out of the box. You know, because obviously you get the 2 tails in the box anyway for the 2 versions, and you get all the different bits underneath the chin for the different grills and various air cooling things as well for all the electronics. So, yes. Which I didn't realise until the other day, but apparently the reason they have so much cooling on there is that they're not allowed to have fans.
Why?
Apparently it interferes with the electronics inside the aircraft. If they've got cooling fans in there and stuff, it can be detected by other aircraft and things like that because of the signatures it gives off. So they don't have it, so they can run sort of silent. So they have massive thermal cooling blocks as well. So it scoops the air in, cools it, so it cools all the electronics inside. That's why the Phantom, even back in the day, has big scoops on it.
Backing him out.
All right, is that the man? But yeah, so really all you got to check is have a look at some photos. It's really easy to see because obviously, hold on, let me just bring mine up. I can show you some of the small differences between the bits you're looking out for are, where's my Hornet? Where's my Hornet? Oh God, I can't see my Hornet. Where am I looking? Hornet, there he is. So, on here, obviously, this lump that's literally just down in here. I'll just go full screen a sec. Hold on, wrong one. So you've got a lump down the front here. Obviously, keep an eye on that one. See if it's got one there. There'll be another lump down here on the back, and obviously with the tails that are different. This here is an A+, so it doesn't have the lump here, and it doesn't have the extra lump up here. Okay, so that's really what you want to look for to see, because a true C has a lump up the back here on the tails, one each tail, and has another one here. The A+ has this one down in here, and obviously it doesn't have the bird slicer and all the rest of it because that's the later version. So I think block 20s onwards. On the C's, they have the bird shredder at the front, which is the IFF. But again, these grills down in here are different from different versions. So just have a look at those on some photos of Spanish Hornets. I'm sure somebody will know and could probably post up. But that's it, because technically this is an A+. So it's a slightly older version to the other one. So say you just don't have that one. Some of them down in here as well, on the insides of the tails, they have strengthening plates. So it's those as well. But yes. There's a better angle of it. So yeah, they're literally just up here. I have some lumps up in there. And again, it's that bit there. That's where that'll be. Okay, right. Back to questions. Dave says, hi Phil, can you please tell me where I could find the video build of you doing the transit vans? Oh God, that's 4 or 5 years ago. Matt's got them. Actually, if you look at Matt's, I don't know how this will work because the guys are... Hold on, if I go here. So if you look up in the corner, up in here, if I get my mouse up in here, There's there it is over there. That's mine, and then Matt's is next to it.
Yeah.
If he comes back, we'll get him to drag it out. Does that cabinet open? But honestly, the thing is, I don't know when it would have been. It's 4 or 5 years ago we did those. We did it as part of a live show. Back in the day, we used to build on a Thursday night. Before we used to do loads of questions, we used to literally just mess around and prat around and stuff. The great thing about those, they're the Esky kits, which reboxed by Italeri, and they go together. Within half an hour, you can build them and you can paint them and weather them. And we did it over 2 shows, I think it was. So we just did them as beaten up old transits. So... Any chance PM Models could become a UK supplier for life resin? Nightmare ordering from the Russian website. What do they do?
It's hard for us to order from the Russian website, isn't it?
Last time I did, do you remember who was the company? Because I actually, this is going back, shows it back in the proper day. If I can find them, here they are. I used to deal with a company called DM Molds. And I used to import from Russia, but the nightmare bureaucracy of getting stuff out of Russia. So I used to import and sell these in the UK, and it was just absolute chaos. And it worked out by the time I got clobbered by everything to get them that we made no money on them at all. So, and he was not very forthcoming about doing deals or anything. He's like, no, that's the price you pay, that's what it is. So it wasn't viable, even though we sold the lot within a week. It wasn't viable to do a second run.
Actually, I think somebody did email us. Was it Lee? Was it Lee that did email us about whether we could get live resin? So there is no UK supply for it. So, like you said, it's just a minefield in it, trying to get the stuff in at the moment.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad from Russia or anywhere else like that. Europe's the problem. But yes,
it's nice stuff.
Yeah. Ed says, during the recent live shows, someone asked about Molotov chrome pens. You then took out a bottle of Tamiya on which you had, which would have been this one. You had some Molotov pen on the bottom. You then commented on how you'd applied it to some number of months ago, and then commenced to rehydrate it with self-leveling fluid. However, it did not turn into the super bright colour that I believe you expected. It looked like to me it was more of a grey than a chrome. It wasn't that. What it was, it just didn't rehydrate properly. So when it doesn't go properly, it just goes a bit gritty. It's still silver, but it looks like everybody else's silver. It's not grey, definitely not grey. It's still silver, but it's more like a silver paint than it would be a chrome, because a chrome dries like a mirror, like that one has. In order to return it to the super chromer, then you added some additional fresh Molotov pen from a refill bottle and then mixed the solution with the new one. Knowing how expensive these refills are, $30 US, being able to rehydrate any leftover is a real advantage to make sure you get the most out of your refill bottle. Would you say now that the ability to successfully rehydrate Molotov chrome colour will depend on how long it has been in a dried state? Should the paint be discarded rather than mixing it with fresh Molotov? Well, you can see it did work because it did come back. I did add another little bit to it, but if I just, yeah. So that's how good and chromy it is. And it does work, and it does go back and goes fine. Should the old paint be discarded then mixed with fresh Molotov, as would guess that some somewhat grey mix, again, forget that grey mix, it wasn't grey, it was just silvery, might somehow affect the sheen of the newly paints. Right, okay, so just to answer that, yes, obviously, in my defence, this actually has been on this bottle for almost 2 years. So, and what I do is that this is dry. There's nothing in here at all. So, LT. So all you do, you come along with one drop like that. Then you grab a clean brush, which I think that wasn't a good idea either, because I'm pretty sure I didn't have a clean brush. Okay, so when this is in, you can then go round and you can mix this stuff up. And as you see, it goes gritty. But what will happen is, or hopefully will happen is, it does this fuzzing bit. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's actually activating. And it's all fuzzing and going really, really weird. And then what it will do, it sort of self-levels because it's actually sort of gassing off and it's got like a chain reaction thing going on. So as you
Molotov.
Yeah. So as you go around here.
God, it's freezing out there.
Is it cold?
It is. It's bloody really cold. Go on, carry on, sorry.
It will start to literally, when it dries, it'll come back very, very creamy. Which I actually think this stuff could be, I don't know, more of an enamel than a thingy, but it seems to work better with this way. But as you can see now, it's starting to chrome off. So yes, it does go. And as I say, as that takes a little bit longer to dry and go, you can see it chroming off again. But it's one of those things, technically, this stuff is so old. It's been on here almost 2 years. Because when I did it on the truck, that's over 18 months ago now. And that's when I had it for, when I was doing touch-up work. So, yes. But so I wouldn't say it's a massive problem from it. The whole point is, what I tend to do is I have this. So when I did the truck, for instance, for the mirrors on the MRAP, little bit of self-leveling thinners in there, quick in with a brush, did the mirrors, and that's it. So what I do is put a tiny bit of self-leveling thinners into this and go again. And that's literally how I've been doing it. One final question. I have read on Amazon that... Right, 1 sec. Grab that, gang.
Delivery.
Should we carry on then? One final question. I read some comments on Amazon on clear coating over the Molotov chrome that it degrades the colours and sometimes causes it to run. Have you successfully clear coated a Molotov, and what product would you recommend?
I've never clear coated it when I've used it. I'll be honest, I just put on and leave it.
Pretty much anything that you clear coat is going to change its hue, isn't it?
Yeah. But
if you do want to protect it, you've got to protect, haven't you? I still like Alclad clear. I do. I think it's like holds up well against other things.
Have you tried it over Molotov though?
No.
Well, there you go. I think without us trying it over the Molotov, I can't say what would work and what wouldn't. So I don't know. I'll have to wait till Phil gets back and see if but I don't think he even did it on the truck, did he? Unless he completely, I think he 2-pack lacquered the truck, but he did it the other bit separate. Are you back?
I need to definitely get to the gym more. Sorry, it's 15 kilos of pigment that was.
Was it? Anyway, going back, have you ever clear coated Molotov?
No.
No, we've not even so can't really answer that because
none
of us have done it.
Yeah, he's asking if the clear coat causes it to run.
I've never done it. I've never gone over it. It's fine as it is. Well, Matt's got it there. So I take it it's still shiny. Probably in dust now, but... so yeah. But anyway, just going back to that one, I think it was somewhat of an unfair test to say, you know, it is. Yes, it's very expensive, but why would you buy that? If you're worried about a price, $30 for a bottle of it, just buy the pen, because you can decant it out of the pen. If you take the top off, because that's what it's designed for, so refilling the pen. So you can literally just buy a pen full, and for doing tiny jobs, do that, or literally just whip around it with the actual pen to do small jobs. And do it that way. But again, it's one of those things you just have to, like I've learned using Molotov now. When I did the truck, I used it really thick. So I put down a thick coat, and it's one of those, it's a little bit like Extreme Metals, as in it takes a while for it to dry, and you get that luster comes through after it's dried. When it's wet, it doesn't look that good. So again, it's one of those. Now I thin it, and I usually thin it quite a bit. So usually around about 70% thinners. It lays beautifully, but again, don't forget it's a chrome. It's like chrome plating. Whatever it goes over, it needs to be absolutely perfect with it. But there we go. You can see that's drying off now. So it's back in there again, all shiny. So yes. And okay, Lynn says, Phil, first let's off saying thanks for everything you do. Question, no problem. I have just purchased the Rebel 132nd F18E. Yeah, you need an A in there. Super Hornet, thinking that you'd done a review. No, I haven't. I then wanted to check your review for the kit again. It came to the surprise that you've not done a review.
There's
a reason for that. If you've got nothing nice to say, as my mum used to tell me, I was almost sure you had. I wanted to hear your thoughts on it because I'm looking at the kit and to me it seems very nice. I'm no means an expert though, and I'm wondering if you're planning on reviewing it in the future. No, because I was very much respect your opinion on kits. That's the same. Yeah. Okay. So the big thing is this: I've seen it, I've handled it, I've had a look at it, and to me, it's the wrong shape. It's like a snooker table on behind the cockpit. It's not right. You could probably get away with it with the F, the two-seater, because obviously it goes a bit further back. But from the Echo one, it's way too wide and it's too flat. They've just got it wrong. In there. There's a couple of other bits and pieces I don't like with it as well. So for me, it's a no on that one. And I would still, and I've got them down in there, I've got the Growler, the EA18 Growler, because that's the closest to the F. And it's got, I think it's a better shape, which is funny when you say it with Trumpeter. But yeah, it is. It's a nicer shape than that one actually is. But yeah, but for the price, I think it's not a bad kit. And again, if you're not worried about it at all, it's fine. But everyone I've seen that's built it, it looks wrong. So that's why we did speak about it at the time when it very first came out and everything. And as I say, I did speak about it and I put the pictures up on the screen and we were looking at it and it just doesn't look right. So as I said,
it seemed rushed, didn't it? It's rushed to get it out or something because some bits don't line up and it's a bit of an odd thing to build as well, which is, to be fair, you know, I know we bash Revell, don't we, all the time, but actually, even if they do normally, the newer kits are good together okay.
Yeah.
And that one apparently has got issues where it doesn't fit in places and, you know, or pins are off from the, you know, locating pins are off or something. I can't remember what it was, but...
It even tells you in the instructions, doesn't it? You have to trim parts down to get it to fit.
Yeah, which is, on a new kit, is really not good, I don't think that's acceptable, to be honest. Not from a mainstream manufacturer, and you've got to be trimming bits off for it to fit. No, I think that's a bit out of order. But... hey ho.
Yes. So yeah, that's the thing with it. Again, if you know, for the price, it's not bad at all. You know, you've got everything in there to make an Echo and all the rest of it. But as I say, it's typical, shall we say, Revell's big stuff. As I say, Matt was right. I think it got rushed. I think they were trying to get it out, to be honest, in time for the Top Gun 2 film. They wanted to cash in on that side of it. So they were desperate to get them out. And obviously, I don't think it did. Sebastian says, hello Phil, going through some of your shows you mentioned that in order to use pigment a satin or matte surface was recommended. Is this the same principle for panel line washes as well? No. If you're talking a panel line wash, as in you just want it into the panel lines, then you're better off over a gloss coat, because a gloss coat means that it will just slip off and obviously it stays in the recesses and away you go. If you wanted a weathered look, and if you're using Flory Models washes, as in clay washes, then you're better off over a satin finish. And obviously, if you want a really grubby finish, then you want to go over a flat finish, and it will get caught in the texture and it will go. The reason we say about pigments is because it needs something to grip onto. Because if you put pigments onto a gloss surface, they just wipe away. And they just don't stick. So you need something for them to get a bit of a bite to. And that's the same thing with the clay. Because that's what's happening. The clay is physically biting onto the surface, and then obviously it goes really, really nicely. But again, if you use the wash over a gloss, it'll just stay in the recesses. So yeah, but like I always say, if you're using clay washes for the first time, do them over a gloss and you get a better idea how they work, because it won't stick anywhere. But once you've used it a little bit, you can get away with going over satin and then flat finishes and then completely dead finishes for a real weathered look like that. And then he says, another question. I'm looking to get some Mr. Metal Color, which is hard to get in my country. I found someone who sells a batch from around about 2010. Do you think 10 years has probably deteriorated them, or do the paints last longer than that? Also, he's selling the bottle type that doesn't seem to be the standard one. And funny enough, I've got them here because I saw the question before. So... technically there's 3 types out. This is the old one you're talking about, which again, this is probably a little bit older than that. This is probably 15 years old. Bob gave me this one from MDC. He said, have a go with this stuff. It's new. And as you can see, this is really cruddy, and as I say, it's back in the day job. I've got a couple of other ones over there as well. I've got the bronze one and everything else. The thing is, this answers that eternal question of what's this for? The slot, because these fit in the slot. So to get them off, this is the sort of universal tool opener, but this is what it's for. And the great thing is, when you have got it, you can do that, and it keeps it upright. Otherwise, this one, as you can see, doesn't stand up, but you can stand it in that and use it as a stand. Again, if it's never been opened, I think you'll be fine. In fact, I tell you what, I know I've got one over here which is not opened, or would have been very, because it's a colour I don't really use, and this thing will be 10 years open. I have opened this before, but this is probably, like you're saying, which is good job I've got this tool. Okay, so that one has dried totally out. Scrap that.
If they've been opened, they do dry out. The thinness sort of evaporates, and
See, these are. You can see that one's still wet in there, and all the rest of it. Again, I've used these. That's why I've got the newer ones now. Nowadays, they come in these 2 flavours. So,
isn't that one that's dried out? Can you put a bit of enamel thinners in it? Will it rehydrate?
Well, isn't it lacquers in these?
Yeah, the lacquers, aren't they?
Oh, the lacquers are.
I think they're lacquers. Well, look, let's try it.
Let it soak a bit.
We'll let it soak.
The trouble is, I think it might get gritty. I don't think it'll be smooth, but get a stirring stick in there. Break it up a bit.
It's bubbling. I can hear it.
Boom.
Yeah,
It's gonna explode in his
listen,
face.
don't know if you can hear that.
No, we can't hear it.
It seriously sounds like Rice Krispies. Right, hold on. I'll get a stick. Stick. Oh, that's proper. I mean, that's gone off.
That's gone.
Yeah, that's just like a brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Might be worth asking the chap who's selling them if he can just.
Yeah, open them and see if they're still all right.
Yeah.
Because technically, it's only pigment in here, this stuff, so it should reactivate. But if it's gone, it might go gritty. What I'll do, I'll put the top on and give it a shake and see if we can wake it up a bit. Because with all of these, it's literally just all pigment.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of actually material in these, you know. But again, this is the one, for some reason they swapped them out a bit. I think they went from this to this and then back. So
No, they're on the thingy one now, the one on the right. Way? Yeah, that's the new one.
Ah, right, okay.
So they've just changed the labels for whatever reason, so yeah.
But again, yeah, I would get him if you could, open them up and check them and see what they're like. Because I say, they're probably around about 15 years old, I think. So it'd be interesting to see if that does come back. We'll have a look later, see if it goes solidified. So yeah, so it's the same stuff. Don't worry about it. It's literally. In fact, where is mine? I am missing one because I have got that colour. I've actually got that colour here, but I can't see it for some reason. In about 10 places. So yes. Christian says, in the past, when talking about wet transfer decals, you mentioned a company I hadn't heard of before. You mentioned HGW. But the other company that was produced, who else does them?
What?
Those transfer ones, the funny ones where you take the film off that Eddard are trying to do. Excuse me.
HGW was one of them. One
yeah, they're saying about a second company. I wonder if you're thinking we were talking about Archer decals.
Yeah, but they're the rivets and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, but I can't think of anything else we were talking about in the same breath as HGW and.
My chat just froze up. My chat's froze up. Oh no, nobody's talking in our chat.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody apart from HGW.
Yeah, not for doing those types of ones.
No.
Again, they're the type where you basically, like Edard have done now, where the carrier film's on the top and you peel it off. Yeah, I can't.
I think it was Archer because he's put at the end. It was either British or American, so I bet it was Archer with the dry. But they do dry transfers, don't they?
No, they're still wet.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, who's just the dry transfers then?
Let me just find the Archers. Find one. Hold on, I've lost the Archers. Seriously, I need to have a clear up in here. This is like horrendous in here. Hold on, I've lost them. I don't know what I've done with them now. I was looking for that. That's B-52s, that's 16s, that's a mask set for a Tiger tank. No, I've done with it now. I've lost them. They're pretty buried. Bob's Buckles, RB Productions. All the stuff here, you know. Yes, pass on that one. I can't think what I've done with mine. But Archer, if you're talking like raised rivets, Archer ones are nice. So you get one big sheet of them, and then obviously if you go across the top, they're quite close, and then down they're further apart. So depending how you cut them on the paper, depends on how far apart they'll be. Oh, magic draw, time to close.
Just a quickie, Phil, from Lose It. Rick in chats in YouTube says, Mr. Colour make a replenishment agent for their paints. Heard it works on dry bowls of paint.
Oh, is that what that is it?
Oh.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Wonder if that works on... So is that for lacquers or is that for aqueous as well? Is that just a general sort of thing across the board, or is it just made for one or the other? I need to know this because we can get that stuff.
I must admit, I've never heard of it. Is it in their little catalogue? I've got it here.
What you ought to have tried, Phil, is that Mr. Tool Cleaner stuff. I bet that would have revived it.
Yeah, but that stuff, so actually, it doesn't work well with paint. I've tried it. No. It's a bit lethal. What's it called?
It should be in there.
Mr. Where am I? Mr. Replenishment Agent. Yeah, it's called Mr. Replenish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mr. Replenish. Let's have a look.
Roger says, was it Linden Hill decals?
Well, they're just very thin, aren't they?
Yeah.
Thinners, right, Chris. We've got Tool Cleaner. We got Airbrush Thinner, Mr. Thinners, Rapid Thinners. Yeah.
He says he's understand it's their paint and Tamiya.
Mr. Brush. Oh yeah, replenishing agent, Mr. Colour. So it's T115. This product is a replacement agent for restoring Mr. Colour that has a higher viscosity or is dried in the bottle, since coating resin that is not included in the Mr. Colour thinner that is included in the original performance of the paint is restored. This is only for Mr. Colour.
Right, so it's for the lacquer aid then, yeah?
Yeah. So clearly, just by rehydrating it, it might be interesting then. Interesting. Didn't know that. So, Mr. Cement Pen, how does that work then? Don't roll now, going through the catalogue. It's literally a pen. Is that glue comes out of there? This pen type cement for plastic models. Like, seriously, why have we not got that in this country? Matt, we need to order this. Look.
We can't get
Look,
it.
it's a glue pen.
It doesn't matter what it is, we can't get it.
Don't tell me that. I don't like those negative waves.
Well,
we want that. Look, it's a pen. I can draw. You know what I'm like with pens these days? I've literally almost given up using everything else.
What's the orange one?
Eh?
Hey, what's the orange one above it then?
Well, it's just a different size, I think. One's got a standard tip, and the other one's got an extra thin tip.
I thought it was that lemonade stuff.
Yeah, it is, but it's fine, isn't it?
So
line 1.
Yeah, that catalogue's just like, look what you could have won. Take it away.
There's that stuff down in there. That's the replacement, the replenishment agent.
Can we get that, Andy?
That said, if it's not on the list, it's not coming in.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. I don't want to hear that. That's not what I want to hear.
It's not on the spread. It's not on the spreadsheet. It's not coming in.
Well, I'm sorry. They need to sort it out. So,
has the chat crashed, everybody? Because everybody's been joining chat. Has something gone off in our chat? Speak up. Speak up.
Tim is the last one in here that I can see.
Timo. Then Ian, Peter, Nige, Yori, David, Paul, and then me. So yeah. James has just come in. I wonder if the chat's gone. Andy, are you still in our chat?
Yeah.
Did you answer Tim's question? I'm still here. Oh, look. Yeah, okay. They've all just gone quiet.
Ah, right. That's all right. They're all just asleep.
Yeah, they've all dropped off, nodded off.
Sorry.
Just before we move on, did you see Tim's thing about the aqua gloss or lacquer? Is it aqua?
Pass. I haven't seen it.
No, it's for Andy.
All right.
Your thingy you're on about for the Molotov. Oh God.
Come on, Molotov.
No, the clear coat you met thingy to go over your Molotov. I can't think of the name of the company. Outclad.
Oh,
is it aqua or lacquer?
No, lacquer I've got.
Have you got the lacquer?
I should never spilt it and it stinks.
Right.
Anyway.
Brain dead.
Tony says, I'm going to be building the Revel Apollo Saturn V rocket in 144 for the 60s group build. I've put the plastic up to the light as it's white, as I'm concerned that the finish that you'll see through the sections and show the black on the other side. Therefore, would you paint the whole model inside the rocket with dark grey to prevent this? What else would you suggest? Yes. If you've got light bleed through it, as in like if you hold up to the light and you've got light coming through, you really need to seal that off. Otherwise it's going to look plasticky if nothing else. So like when I did my Saturn, that had a couple of coats of grey primer, sealed it, no problem at all. Then we gave it a coat of white. So yes, that's, pretty much standard. If you've got any light bleed, it's no different from doing, a rocket to a canopy on an aircraft, for instance. So if you get that thing, you just put, if it's blue and you just put the blue on, you'll see light through it, traveling through it, and it doesn't have that solid look then. So if you put a black bead, prime it with black first, so mask it, spray it, and then put your colour on top, it will be absolutely solid, and it gives you a good solid feel to it then. So yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Frederick says, hi Phil and team, I'm working on a plane which is mostly aluminium using an old Model Master buffables. I'm planning afterwards to seal it with Model Master, you will need to, Model Master sealer for metallizer, which I've got somewhere around here, it's out of reach. However, there's a few areas on the plane which are painted with acrylic paint, a life colour in this case. I suppose I can use the sealer all over, or should I mask off the acrylic? Well, obviously the only thing is if you've got painted areas on there, you'll end up with a gloss finish, because that's what it'll do. The Mr. Model, which I'm going to dig it out. Hold on, there's a bloody starship in front of it. So that's this stuff, which actually I really do rate. Can't get it anymore, but I do like it. It's a clear gloss, but it's really good over metallic finishes, and especially over buffables and stuff like that. It will affect the look, because obviously you're going for a metal luster, and it will dull it back. It will make everything look like aluminium if you overcoat it. But this is one of the few which doesn't do it that bad. You might remember when I did it on the F104 and stuff. We've used other products as well. We've tried it with these special ones that are supposedly good, but you always lose that metal luster. That is what you get by using buffables or obviously metallizer finishes and stuff like that. So personally, I don't like overcoating it, but because you've used a buffable, you need to. Otherwise, every time you touch it, you're going to have silver hands. And if you touch anything else, it's going to transfer onto it. So like if you've got painted areas on your model, you're just going to transfer onto it. So you will need to seal it down. What you can do is obviously give it a coat of that right the way over it, let that completely dry, mask off an area around the painted areas, and then just give them either another coat of paint or just put like a satin or a flat coat over them to get those painted areas. Otherwise, it's going to make everything turn to gloss. Don't you think?
I've never used that metallizer for sealer, to be honest. I've got some, but I don't think I've ever used it.
Yeah, I must admit, the reason I got it originally was to go over Outclad. because everyone was saying it's great, and it does, because it's actually, I think this one may be losing it a bit. It looks thicker than I remember it, but it goes down very, very thin. It goes on very neat, and you get a nice glossy finish, and it doesn't totally destroy metallizer finishes. It's probably one of the few which it does affect it. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to be just like it is untouched, but it definitely doesn't kill it, because some of them, I've done it before, like chrome finish, you put a coat of gloss over it and it turns to aluminium. This one will keep it nice and shiny still all the way through. So, and this one is a sealer for a metallizer. The last time I used it full scale in anger was on the Mustang when I did the 32nd scale P51. We used buffables right the way over it. I used that to seal it in, but honestly, it still used to keep coming off. It's the gift that keeps giving. So, yes. Michael says, hi, Phil and team. Thanks for the shows. They're a sanity saver. I'm looking for a particular shade of slightly orangey yellow for a project I'm working on. Oh my lord. Orangey yellow. Ideally, I'm looking for a lacquer paint, as I find them easier to use. Attacker Orange line do 4 different colours that look close-ish, but I can't tell from the colour, from the online colour. I wouldn't trust that. Which is best? Do Hataka do a hard copy? Do you mean a paint chip set that one can buy? Don't think they do they, Matt?
They do a colour chart, but the colour charts are only as good as
the printer.
The printer, and they're never the same, are they? So
no, oh no.
No, don't trust RGB printing for what the colours are, because it's nowhere near it. But I know what you mean, because there's a few of the manufacturers used to do them, didn't they, on like ring key rings, wasn't it, and add all the paint chips, and used to do it that way.
Oh,
but I don't think Hataka do, or not that I'm aware of.
For sake, can you imagine Hataka doing that with their massive range of paint?
Yeah, it'd be like this, it'd be like a jailer.
You need a big key ring. Exactly. What is it you're actually painting? Isn't there like an FS number or what are you painting? And then
it's orangey yellow, slightly orangey yellow.
Well, again, what's it on? Because then that would narrow it down to a bit to which one you need. Because they do go by FS numbers or at round numbers and all that lot. So if it's doing an aircraft and again,
the thing you've got with that, because it's an orangey yellow colour, if you was to put that over a white primer or a grey primer, it'll end up different colours as well.
Yeah,
because it'll be one of those ones, isn't it?
By the sound of it, that colour in real life fades really bad.
Yeah.
So yes, could do. Hold on. Perhaps it's for a spaceship.
Could it be for Thunderbirds? Was it the submarine one with the bulldozer blade on it or whatever it was?
Thunderbird 4.
Yeah, that was an orangey yellow. We're now speculating on what orangey yellow it could be.
Yeah, well, you could do with knowing. Just oh look, Nathan's in chat.
Oh look, he'll know.
He's obviously finished teaching today.
School day's finished.
Yeah.
I mean, that's orangey yellow, isn't it?
No.
Oh God, what's that?
Humbrol.
Humbrol what?
That's British trader yellow.
Oh, is that what you used on your Tiger Moth?
Yeah.
There you go. Somebody asked me the other day if I could do the kit comparison, isn't it, between the two? I did see that come up. I said I have to get Andy's out.
He construct mine and sent it in.
Yeah. Okay, Gordon says, been following your build of the Iwo Jima. Crikey, everyone's back in the day now. I'm about halfway through the painting stage, and I'm looking ahead to videos part 9 and 10. In preparation for the weathering, I was wondering if you'd still do the weathering using inks, or would you make up something using oils? And if so, would you suggest it? To be honest now, I probably wouldn't use the inks. I'll go with the oils. I think the oils are cleaner, easier, more blendable.
Well, obviously, you know the grief you got with using inks from, putting your old videos up using them.
Yes, true. True. So yes, I would probably go with oils these days. So, to be honest, I've done all the weathering in here. We went through showed you at the beginning of the show, the one in here. again, the great thing with this is it's dry within, I don't know, half an hour. It's handleable. Yeah, inks is the gift that keeps giving, literally. So it takes a while for that to dry off totally. And when it does dry off, it gives it tide marks, whereas this won't, or not as much anyway. P.S. Did I get the note on the CL 215 decals? I did. Thank you, Gordon. Yes, I have. I haven't been quite the way through all the emails yet. I've got a ton to get through. But I will get back to you on that one. But you did message me on those. I'll have a look. Lauren says, Dr. Phil, Christ. I need to do my hair for that, won't I? Any tips on how to keep milliput fresh? I've just bought a new package and it's still stuffed. Do you know what? I've got one in here which I haven't used for ages, only because we were talking about it on the show the other day, weren't we? I'm just wondering if mine's soft. This stuff here has got to be 17 years old.
Yeah, it'll be rock hard then.
No, oh, I don't know. Yeah, this one's gone a bit hard.
Yeah.
Stick it in the microwave.
Is that what you do? This one's all right. This one's still bendy.
Yeah, well, one's the resin, isn't it? And the other one's the
The hardener, I think, has gone hard.
Yeah,
So-
the hardener goes off. I don't know if you can actually go and get your thing on it. Where's your heat gun?
When it burst into flames, is it flammable?
must I-
It'd be
I
good
had one, it's like a stick of chalk.
Hey, it'll be fun to watch if it does. Just gently warm it, see if it softens it.
Shall I try it in the microwave?
But to be honest with you, if the catalyst has gone off, normally it's knackered. But try it. Don't put it in the microwave. Gentle heat with something just to see.
Blowtorch.
What do you mean that?
What was it just knocked off?
Oh no, it's just the standy bit. It's magnetic. Right, okay. For the interest of science.
Hey, don't set fire to yourself.
Yeah, is this flammable?
Probably.
Yeah. Boo! Technical difficulties.
Yeah, get ready to cut him off, Andy. If it goes up in a ball of flames. You ain't got any hairspray on, have you?
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's my booth on.
Do not try this at home. Phil is a professional.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, as you can see, let me put my overhead on so you can see me blow myself up clearly, because I know you'll want to watch this. So, as you can see, it's the turdy bit's gone off. But, to be honest, it's all right in the middle, look.
Yeah, it gets like a skin on it, doesn't it?
It has got a skin.
I think what I've done is like slice the skin off to get to the good bit in the core.
I've just circumcised it.
Like
Mine
that.
genuinely went like
Anybody
chalk.
want some salami?
It is a
You
bit,
can
isn't
snap
it?
mine in half.
Oh no, this has been sealed in a packet. So I think we're
Yeah.
right.
I
Right.
wonder if you keep it in the fridge or something, it makes it last longer. What was the last thing you used milliput on then, Phil?
Oh, this is a brand new tube. Right. Are we ready? I'll do this sort of in-camera shot.
Oh, fire. We've got fire.
Smoke alarm be going off next. Beep, beep, beep. Right. Oh, look. Yeah. Heat works.
Gentle heat though, not an actual.
Yeah, you probably don't
blowtorch.
want to like set fire, but yeah, heat works. Right, I'll just get rid of this. I tell you, it stinks. So, yes, there we go. So I've blown myself up, so you don't have to, kids. So it looks like mine has just formed a bit of a skin on the end. This one's all right. Look, this is fine in here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this one has got the look of a turd. You could bend that, put it on the floor. Be great. Bloody dog. So yeah, I don't think obviously. I don't know how good that would be. You could probably, to be honest, if you cut it all off, it might work. But yeah, I think by the time you've messed around with it, you bin it off and get a new one.
The thing is, it's such a waste, isn't it? Because there's a lot there, and it's
Yeah.
like,
But then in its defence, this is probably about 15, 17 years old.
Is
But
it
I got
15
this
or
one out the
17?
other day when we were all talking about the something or other. It came up, wouldn't it? And I was like, I think I've got one. So that's why I went in and got it. But
yeah.
yes. Never mind. So long.
Apparently, soak it in boiled water. Isn't that just the same as then heating it up?
All right, okay.
But I was more thinking with an hairdryer to heat it, not
I
not
could have
quite.
done that. There's
Well,
me
not
getting the
quite as extreme as
flamethrower
a
out.
blowtorch or your thingy heat gun.
Yeah.
Gently heating it.
Or that's the quick way. That's
Yeah,
the Flory way of doing stuff. So to answer your question there, Lawrence, I would say it's probably good for a year or two. I don't know, how much is a pack of milliput, really, in the great scheme of it? I'll just buy a new one. You know?
Yeah.
What's a modern day replacement for milliput then?
Oh, there's loads now. There's loads of different two-component green stuff will do some, and I don't know, I've got some knocking around. There's all different ones, but they all got sort of different characteristics as well. Yeah, you need to do a bit of research on it, to be honest. Because that's one of the originals, isn't it, milliput?
Milliput, yeah, that's what it was, wasn't
like
it? The original two-part. Yeah.
I tell you what, brilliant one that you can't get over here again is the Tamiya one, do one, and that is brilliant stuff. But again, we can't sell it because we can't get it. Yeah.
Never mind. Richard says, "Hi Phil, Andy, and Matt. It's the beginning of the month. This would be a good day to check the water in your compressor."
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Next. Hey, look, he's done it.
What?
Look.
Yeah, that was cracking actually.
That perfect.
Yeah.
The Valiant nose.
There you go. Nice pilot.
Yes. Thanks for the those update requests. Look at that. I think that's absolutely spot on. So yeah, it's the same in.
No filling needed.
No filler needed. Look, yeah, just tap and glue and you're good to go. To be honest, you won't want to fill that because otherwise it won't match up with the rest of it.
Why is the nose a different colour to the rest of the thing? Is it? It's like lighter on my thing. It was on the other one.
It is.
Did the different versions?
I've
got no idea. I don't know much about the kit, so because they did a.
It's the refueling probe, isn't it, on those?
Yeah, they only did the one boxing that's been re-released, didn't they? Because I know obviously the Victor, there's a couple of boxings of it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, so I've got the one in the anti-flash white.
Yeah.
Anyway, good fix. Good job on that one. I think that'll work very well.
Oh, he's put a coat of primer on it, see if the seams are okay. Yeah.
Oh, right. No, that works. Parag says, PK. Yeah, that's the one. On one of last week's SU57 review, you mentioned that you had built the Hobby Boss 48 scale YF23 Widow. Is there a video of it somewhere? And what are your impressions on the kit? The kit's really, really basic. I usually get it down. It's up there again. I only put it back up there the other day. But yeah, we did that as part of a turkey shoot. I did it as a weekend build. And I did it in adversary splinter scheme. Just as a joke, and put Russian markings all over it because it looks just like an SU57. But yeah, there's no official video on that one because, to be honest, it is a really, really basic kit. I think it's cockpit, two halves together, undercarriage, job done. It is that simple with that kit. There's not a lot to it. But again, it's all right. It's not too bad, but it's very, very basic. It's not much in there at all. But as of when we did it,
2 years ago.
Was it two?
Three?
Three?
Perhaps, I don't know. It's a long time ago.
No, but as far as I know, it must have been good because I did it in 2 days. I painted it and did all the stuff on it, so it didn't take long at all. So, yes. Bob says, "Hi, Phil. I'm looking to purchase and build an F4E Phantom 2, but I don't want to go into the 450 part Zukamori kit. I'm looking for recommendations on a good quality kit with a lower part count. Thanks again for all you guys. Continued lockdown shows. Really enjoyed each episode. Thanks, Bob." No problem, Bob. If you really want to go really simple and it still turns into something really nice, the Hasegawa kits. Very, very basic. You can put them together in 2 hours. They're great. They're not over the top or anything else like that. That is your only other option because, let's face it, nobody else does the long nose one. So, yeah. Well, I don't think. Anybody else do a 48 scale? No.
Oh, I know of, no.
No. So, to be honest with you, it's an Oldham but golden. I don't even have one anymore.
Yes, they do. Hold on. Italeri.
Yeah, but that's the old Esky thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a simple kit. Andy's built it. Go and show him, Andy. Go and get it.
Oh, it's probably in bits. In fact, if it is in bits.
Don't do that one, honestly. Do the...
No, do this Italeri one. It's readily available.
readily available.
Yeah, but it depends. I know what you're saying. I know what you're going to say. It depends how simple he wants it to be. There you go. Look at that one. Looks like an F4E, doesn't it?
This is what happens when your wife...
Oh, get it fixed.
Oh, look.
Cleaning.
Don't blame her. There you go. Look.
Yeah, that's an RF.
They did the F4E. It's the same blooming aircraft. They've just put cameras in it.
Just paint over the windows.
Slightly different. It's square on the bottom.
Yeah, who sees the bottom though?
Like seriously, I can't.
They do the E though, don't they?
Yeah, but have you built an Hasegawa E?
No.
Can't get them. How can we build them when you can't get them?
That's filthy.
Stop being a rivet counter.
Bob in America would be able to get them. Bob, get the Hasegawa F4E.
Yeah, Bob can definitely get them in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the F4E.
To be honest, that's a bit basic. It was great in 1980.
Oi, Nathan says not even I would build the Esky one. No. Yes, you would. If we made you, you would build it.
Yeah, we talk about ghost scenes.
You got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's soft plastic on that as well, isn't it? So
looks cool in the Israeli.
It does look good in the Israeli scheme.
Yeah.
And now it's got that authentic dusty look.
Yeah.
Looks like it's been in a museum.
How long did that take to build?
Not long at all, really.
That is old though, isn't it? That's an 80s classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gets revamped. At least the decals are good now in the Italeri version.
Yeah.
Just a quick one there, because I saw it earlier, I missed it. Michael says, Phil, any plans to do the D'Agostini Millennium Falcon? No.
No.
No, I did a far better one. if you have to say, did it beginning of last year? It would have been exactly a year ago. Crikey, doesn't time fly? I did this one. So we did the perfect grade one, which yes, that is an absolutely beautiful kit. Very, very nice. There's a free video to watch on that one if you want to see that one as well. So yeah, that is an uber nice one. It's not stupidly big either. Well, it is because it's still that big, but it's so that's the 72nd scale one. It's got the lighting kit in it and all the rest of it. So yes, very, very nice. And again, it's a proper gem of a kit, that one.
Just that's Steve. I've got some, Steve. I've got some Tamiya 2-pack. I've got some myself straight out of Japan. Thanks for the offer though. But yeah, it's worth getting if anybody wants it. It's shame it is like we can't get it over and sell it here, but yeah, it's good stuff.
Anyone home from the blizzard on the East Coast today? We've had over 30 inches of snow in New Jersey. Yeah, Matt was like that. You had at least, what, 3 mil?
Yeah, we've had that. An inch.
We will survive. Thought he's going to have to get his snow shovel out and everything.
I had the huskies out and everything this morning.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he had to mush his way into work.
We are proper rubbish with snow, though, aren't we, as a country?
Yeah, I tell you what, I forget about the Tamiya. They do the 2-part stuff as well, don't they?
Who?
Tamiya. Lawrence is saying he's got the Tamiya one as well, and that's dried out. But Tamiya do a 2-part epoxy.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about it last 10 minutes.
Oh, have you? Have I missed that one? Sorry.
You've not been listening to us, have you?
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's the one we can't get over. It's the green and white one. And I got some out of Japan a few years ago, but it's one of them we can't sell over here for either labelling issues. I don't know what it is, but it's a shame. It's like with their putties and stuff in it. It's stuff we can't get. So you have to get from the Far East or probably Germany or somewhere like that. I bet Europe can sell it. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. You ever heard any of that Tamiya stuff, Phil? Or...
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
I tell you what I used to do. I used to make a lot of seatbelts with it and harnesses. So you just literally roll it out, and then I used to cut it into strips, and then you can bend it, stick one end in, rope it around everything.
You know, like when you use milliput, you can never seem to roll it thin. Milliput, it always seems a bit thicker than like that Tamiya stuff. You can roll quite thin. And what was the other stuff I was using? I can't think of what it's called. Oh, it's annoying. But it's really good, and you can get quite thin and it don't break up.
Yeah, this stuff I did say the downside to this is that if you were doing very fine detail with it, it's very gritty. Where the Tamiya stuff is quite smooth. So if you were doing like harnesses and stuff, I wasn't a great fan of this, but the Tamiya one I was, because you say you could get it, you could cut it, it would peel nicely as well. So, but this stuff used to break, and it was gritty, and it never really worked. That it's great for other jobs, but just for fine details, it wasn't that good.
Don't Milliput do different grades?
Yeah, they do the white one, the black one, the grey one, is it? They do about 3 different grades, don't they? I've got it here. Hold on, let me go and see what.
I love this. Look, some uses for milliput: modelling, canisters, radiators, boats, silencers, as in not guns. We're talking exhausts. Cast iron work, car batteries, because let's face it, you'd always smother your battery in that because it's what, leaking. Jesus, ceramics and water tanks. It was like. Yes, it's fine within normal temperatures of between 20 below and 25 plus. So what if it's hotter than that? Does it start to melt again? Look, here you go. They do standard grade or super white, which is fine. The white one's the fine one. Then they do the black terracotta.
Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
So I've got Milliput Superfine White, standard 2 lots. I've got A to B modelling putter, which I bought at the show, which I actually think, looking at that, it's gone off. And then I've got the Tamiya.
Yeah.
I've got the smooth surface one or the quick type.
Yeah.
So there you go. So Tamiya do a couple of versions of it. So I don't even know. Are these brand new? I think these are brand new. Said Luke. But I think that A to B stuff's gone off. Yeah, there you go. Look.
Yeah.
That's all right, as long as you leave it in its little bag.
Yeah.
Matt's going to sculpt that figure now out of it all.
Yeah, he'll now just whittle something together. He'll make more.
Yeah.
Can we have more?
It could be more.
Or Chad.
Plasticine. That's what we need, isn't it? Oh, that's the other one. The never used this smooth type. So.
Dennis is asking in YouTube chat. He says, "How is it Tamiya F14E Tomcat for an out-of-the-box build? I want to do my first jet."
Yeah, beautiful. Really, absolutely amazing. Fantastic. Not a bad thing to say about it. It is. It's just one of those kits that just falls together. Clever, clever, clever.
The best looking plane in the world, eh, Matt?
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, lovely. That's proper gone off. I don't think that's savable.
I wouldn't trust anything from Matt's fashion. I've seen his shoe collection.
Hey.
Yeah, I think that may have seen better days.
Actually,
and his trouser collection.
In his trouser collection.
No, actually, I take that back.
He has no taste.
And his jacket collection, for that matter.
I do think this stuff has a shelf life.
Yes, I think so. You're going to cram it back in there, are you?
Well, I'm going to cram it back in there and probably chuck it in the bin. That stuff weren't cheap either. That A to B put it's quite good stuff. It's not cheap though.
Steve's saying, "I want to get an airbrush. Is it worth getting a cheap one or saving money for a more expensive one?"
Get a good, decent one.
Yeah, don't buy a cheap 20 quid off of eBay because false. It'll work brilliant the first time you use it. Just don't try and use it a quick couple of weeks later. Seriously, I will say it. We don't stock it or sell them, so you have to find them elsewhere. But the Pro Convoy range of airbrushes, get yourself a 270. It's a really, really nice airbrush, and it won't break the bank. It's going to be 100 odd quid, but I've had mine now. We're coming up on 3 years. Original everything. I haven't changed anything with it, and it gets used every single day, and I don't even clean it. It's that good. Jerry says, "Afternoon, fellas. Quick thank you. Received his Hobby 2000 Viewfighter. Looks like an ex-Hasegawa. That's because it is." Hobby 2000 Reeboks other people's. But with an added mask set and why am I getting that there? With an added mask set and resin exhaust. Yeah, well, that's what they do. They basically they rebox them like a lot of other companies do, but they add a few bits as well.
God, that stinks.
Is there a way to re-soften plasticine?
Hey, what?
Don't know. Why would you need to?
Plasticine, as in like morph and what we've talking about, and
yeah,
you know,
morph's got a bit stiff.
And Gromit's gone a bit stiff. I'm gonna say. Plasticine. I didn't think plasticine ever went off.
No.
Well, it does when it's in your carpet. It goes rock hard after a while, doesn't it?
I suppose it does, doesn't it? I presume. Yeah, I don't know. Again, why would you need to? But yeah, don't know.
What else says? Plus the decals for a Polish 307 squadron from Exeter. Yes. And story to this, the Polish village, as it was called, is literally over the other side of the roundabout from me. So, a place called Drumbridge's roundabout. It's easy to find it on the map. And the next to it was known as the Polish camp. And that's where a lot of obviously the Polish from the area from World War II all used to be there. And they're there to this day. They are let out. No, it's not like that. They've turned it into one of those villages now. You know those posh ones which you get, what's her name? The cruise boat singer woman. What's her name? God, I can't remember her name is now. Anyway, the woman who does the cruise boats and sings and does holiday programs now and stuff like that. I can't remember what her name is now.
What, from Wakefield?
Yeah. God, what's her name? Can't remember now. Anyway, that place she advertises on telly for retirement homes and these posh caravans and communities is now in the Polish area, which is over there. They've built it in their plot. But the funny thing is, when you drive in, they've made all these fantastic walls and it looks beautiful and all the rest of it. There's a big sign that it says Ministry of Defence, because the land and everything was bequeathed to the people of Poland, which they still use to this day. And this has obviously been bought by and all the rest of it for them.
Nigel's obviously a fan. Look, Jane McDonald.
Jane McDonald, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the hospital that's near me, Phil, that visited before?
Yes.
That used to be a convalescence camp for US airmen during the Second World War.
There you go. Very nice.
Poor boggers. They get stuck in Mansfield.
Stuck in Mansfield.
Yeah, that's it. Recuperate here.
Yeah.
The arse end of Britain.
They reckon the hospital's haunted by a.
What, the new one you were in?
Eh?
The new one you were in?
Yeah.
Was it?
Probably, yeah.
I must admit, it's very posh, your hospital. We all went in to see Andy after he had a mild heart attack. It was fine. So we all went in and saw him, and it's very posh. It's like, he had his own room and everything. Personally, I think it was just on the Skype.
They reckon they only got my own room just because there's a consultant with exactly the same name as mine.
Oh, is that what it was? They thought you were someone else.
Well, apparently all the doctors kept coming to visit me.
Oh yeah.
And one of the nurses said, if you're wondering why all the doctors are keep coming in, this is when I was down in A&E.
Yeah.
Is because there's a consultant with your name, and they thought that it was
him. Because it's not a common name, so I suppose you can understand. I'm getting a bit confused. Jerry says, my question, any tips on how to create a decent, authentic, all-over black scheme for a night fighter? Don't use black. Use very, very dark greys, and obviously we put blues into black, greens into black, and you basically just break it up. And then what I like to do is polish it. So you give it washes, various things, and then you polish it. I've got a couple of videos on there for undersides of things. Like I've got a 262, there's a Halifax bomber in there, various things, and that's how I go about doing those.
Oh dear, Ben's having problems with an Aries cockpit. You ever shoehorned one of them in an FG1? I presume he's doing the 48 as a guy one. You have to fit him to with a milli thing of the life, don't you?
We spoke about this before, haven't we? I think, if you go back in time to the 90s, Aries were pretty much it, weren't they? They were the best of the worst of them, and you used to have to thin the plastic and then thin the resin to get them to fit. And funny enough, I was speaking to said Aries about it once many years ago, and they was explaining to me that obviously to be able to get the detail and to get them out of the molds, they have to make them so thick. You can't just have them like a wafer as it needs to be, because you couldn't get them out of the molding cleanly. So they have to do it a little bit. So it's up to the modeler to sand them in or remove material from the inside. And I remember I've worked on F4s and F14s and stuff, trying to get an Aries cockpit into it, where you literally have to sand the plastic so you can see through it. It's literally translucent, and then the cockpit will fit. Otherwise, you can get the two halves together. But I think I called them out on it once, saying about their rubbish and they don't fit. And they explained to me how it needs to be like that, purely because they need to get out of the mould. Otherwise, it'll break coming out.
Don't you think it, though, kind of defeats the object when you've just about knackered your kit up trying to thin your walls of your plastic, and you've knackered your resin up because you've got to thin that to make it fit? What's the point?
Well, again, you're into, as was explained to me, you're into that realm, isn't it? Because of scale thicknesses. Right. So do you make the cockpit narrower than it is in real life, than it would be in scale, to allow for the thickness of the plastic? So there's got to be a give. You either make physically the cockpit smaller than it is in real so it fit inside the model, or do you keep the dimensions as it should be? And then you have to move the other thing around it. Again, it's one of those. It's like chicken and the egg, isn't it?
Wow, I know. Just thinking for Ben, obviously, couldn't you just add some resin seats, Ben, and be done with it? You really need to shoehorn an Aries cockpit in that don't fit.
Have you seen Ben's plane that he's posted up in chat today?
Oh, he's
not in chat. In
his Blériot thing. That yeah. Can't do a good job of that, to be honest.
Yeah, really good job.
But that is a crap kit. Put it politely. How's quarantining going? He's quarantining at the minute, isn't he?
Is he quarantining?
But it's not a very old kit, though, is it? Because it was only made in 1966. Ben.
Roger's got a book, Spitfire book from Valiant Wings.
One of the guys in YouTube chat has asked, is it worth buying the Rebel 148 Top Gun? He's gone through all the numbers, but it was the F-18 he was after.
What is that? The new one, the F or
E into
the E? Again, the trouble you've got with the Rebel F-18E in 48th, and obviously we talk about with 32nd as well, is that it's not a very good kit. That's the downside to it. If you want a very nice, F-18E, I would wait for the main one to come out, which is shortly to drop, which should drop any minute. It's out now, isn't it?
Yeah, and you get the Top Gun markings in that as well.
Do you? There you go.
Apparently.
You can have Pete Mitchell on the side of your plane.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's licensed to Top Gun, but obviously, yeah.
But yeah, so again, I would personally, I'm hoping to get my hands on one soon of the Meng version, because the Meng one does look nice. I can't see anything. Obviously, I'm just looking at CAD and stuff at the moment and pictures that I've seen online, but it looks right to me. So it'll be interesting because again, it's bang up to date. It's got all the right stuff with it. Otherwise, you're down to the Hasegawa one, which technically is an older version. So. So yes.
We'll be quiet in chat again.
So I think I've got a delivery coming in.
Can you hear it?
I can hear something outside.
So what you expecting?
Clay.
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 That's going to be like then.
Oh well, that goes on a pallet truck and he wheels it up and sticks it in the carport for me. That's where that goes. That's what I thought it might be in, because it sounded like a pallet truck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting on that in today. The pigments arrived, so that's okay. And then I'm waiting on 1,500 bottles to rack up. So that's today's ones, and a couple of other little bits and pieces I've ordered as well, which I thought would come in the post and they haven't turned up at all. So
Chris just put up, any tip on a tool? I need a flat file thin and 1 to 2 millimeters for the small jobs.
I've got these, which are known as watchmakers, tiny little ones. These are diamond ones. And the reason I use tiny little ones like this is, like, for instance, I'm just cleaning up the engine at the moment. So you can get right in amongst them, because you can't get in there with a sander or anything big. But you can use like these. You can use the edge of the tiny little file, or it's a little flat file. But you've got like your usual rat's tail, triangle, square, and sort of an ovally thing. But yeah, so they're quite handy. Just so if you're working on an engine like this, and if you go in there with anything too big, you're just going to obliterate the detail. But you get in there and just sand it and roll it round and tidy up and sharpen up all the details. So yes, but if you go. To be honest, I've had them forever. I can't remember, but I know that when I bought them, I think I was obviously an eBay or something else like that. But if you put in there like watchmakers tools, they got tiniest little tools you'd ever seen. And I think I just bought a set of filey things for that. In fact, I'm one missing. I don't know what I've done with it. I've misplaced my square one because that's what I was looking for. But yeah, you just get them. But if you put in watchmaker stuff, you do come up with some very weird and wonderful tools and various clamps and various bits and pieces. And some of it, as I know, I'm a bit of a tool hoard, clearly. And so yeah, those things come in quite handy for these types of jobs. But I highly recommend, as I say, these are diamond ones, so they're great for working with plastic. Well, I've had them forever now. I don't even know how much they were or where they came from. It would have been eBay, I think, back in those days.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're great for just sharpening up little areas, getting in there. Oh, Bryn's in chat as well.
Yes, obviously skiving.
Yeah, they're all skiving today. Question: are airbrush needles interchangeable between different airbrushes? No.
No.
Don't try that. You'll ruin your nozzle. They are specifically designed, and some airbrushes, the way that they taper, as in get pointier, some of them are quite long, some are quite short the way they do it. And if you put one that's the wrong diameter, you'll just splay your nozzle and you'll wreck your nozzle.
I think the resin's leached out of this.
Or is it coming out?
It stinks.
It sounds a bit hard. Where he snaps his blade trying to cut through it, stabs himself. Those the technical difficulties.
This is no different to what you've got, Millipore.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks a similar colour.
I think
it's gone grey on the inside.
Yeah, look, it's supposed to be in a resealable bag. Probably hasn't helped, does it? Because it's not really been airtight. But just curiosity's now got the bear on me because it's sat there. So
let's see if you can manipulate
the state of that. Ah, it's making a mess of me.
That's what mine did. It crumbled everywhere.
Yeah, but that's like bagging or something. That's not even the.
What was I doing yesterday?
Oh, I'll tell you what it is.
It's like a lump of chocolate.
It does, doesn't it?
That's weird.
Cut away from yourself.
No, I'm just testing something. Yeah. Tell you what it is. It's been wrapped in plastic.
All right.
Disintegrated. Because that's all right. The actual middle bit, look, is like I say, like chocolate. Yeah.
I think I'll just buy a new one. Be done with it.
Do you know how expensive this was?
Oh, look, cup of tea. Afternoon, Shell.
Hello. Thank you very much.
Afternoon, everybody.
No. This is where. Oh.
It's all right. We're watching Matt cut his hand off in a minute. Greetings to Germany to Ninja Models.
I was in the shop yesterday. I was restocking the AK Extreme Metals, and I was wrestling trying into a bag to get some out of a bag. And once until I put them all on the shelf, I realised it was a resealable bag of cake.
You need this thingy gloves on.
Yeah. Use your rubber gloves.
With gloves.
Is it working?
It's not very smooth.
Hi guys, how would you go about painting a vegan splinter camo? Buy a mask set.
Let somebody else do it.
Seriously, just save yourself all the hassle in the world and buy a mask set. So prime your colour. So let's assume you're going to go with the Buffy colour first because it's usually the lightest, and then mask it. Then put obviously mask that in. Then put your green in, mask it, and then your black, depending which camo schemes you're doing, I assume. But if you're doing the standard splinter, and do it like that. To be honest, it's one of those. It doesn't take as long as you'd think. It's just it's one of those that it doesn't seem it's a quick job, but once you get on a roll with it, it's not so bad. Has it worked?
No.
No.
Nothing horrible.
John says, I think I'll be skipping the upcoming Top Gun sequel, thanks. Tom Cruise is unbearable and unsufferable. It's got planes in it. Fat, quick planes in it.
No, plus the fact we still need to work out if the F-14 scene in it is like a dream sequence or what the hell.
Yeah.
It's real. It's all CGI anyway, isn't it?
A lot of it, but a lot of it isn't.
When's it supposed to be out anyway?
I don't know, but I know they put the new James Bond one back again, haven't they?
Yeah.
What, till 2022?
Basically.
Could have made a new one.
For Mesa 109, always mix outside of the colour cup, even though I don't. That's what you're supposed to do, because Matt will come round and put a bat up your nightdress. But it's true. It's one of those things. You know, we always say this thing, and you'll hear me say it. If you're a member and I'm doing like the build videos, my phrase I always do is say as I do, do as I say, not as I do, because I mix in the colour cup all the time, but you shouldn't. You should always mix out of the colour cup. If you got some shot glasses, that's what I was going to do. I was going to order some little Pirates glasses. But if you get some little disposable shot glasses, things like that, or the glass ones, if you're being environmentally friendly, you can have a look. You can see what your paint's like. And to be honest with you, probably 50% of all the questions that we get on here where people say about their paint stopping and starting, or they get a rough finish and they get all these different problems, I'd say probably over 50% is probably the paint isn't mixed thoroughly. And if you're doing it in your colour cup, you can't see what you're doing, and the thick paint always goes to the bottom very quickly and down to your needle end. But if you're mixing it in a clear little jar or whatever you're doing, you can mix it, you can see it, you can pour it on the side, you can see exactly what your paint is doing, then put it to colour cup. All those, to be honest, I did that the other day.
Especially if you're only doing little bits. Obviously, you do big bits, you need a colour cup. But if you're only doing little bits, then you can just wipe them out when you've done and clean them and reuse them. And they're brilliant. They're brilliant little things then.
Yeah.
Can't recommend them enough.
Just above that one, Phil, Caesar from Ninja Models says, anyone here use 3D printer to print improvement parts for existing kits? No. I've got a 3D printer. It's the CAD side of it is the bit I need to really learn properly. I've got an 18-year-old son who does bits for me, but trying to tear him away from everything else he does is a nightmare. So, yeah, something we keep talking about, isn't it, Matt?
3D printing is the future.
Because I know I joke about it, but it's the future. It's what everything will be, And I think as soon as it becomes, as I say, a bit quicker and becomes more affordable and things like that, like everything that's come along, it will become mainstream, and we all will, as modelers, it'd be that thing, won't it? Got a spray booth, you got your compressor, you got your 3D printer, got your airbrush, you've got your tools, because it will be just part of everything that we do. So people will be downloading, and it will come to it. It will be that thing that I imagine a lot of perhaps the aftermarket companies, instead of you buying the part, you just print it yourself.
Yeah. Hey, I've spoken to the doctor.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Excellent.
It's going to have to be bigger than that for my dog. Needs something the size of your arm.
It's a little Chihuahuas one. Why have they done it in brown? I'm not being funny, but like, all the colours they put in. Shit,
One of the first questions we had today was about the Airfix figures, wanted pilots. And I actually did a quick search before we came on. Have a look, see if you can get 3D resin, the pilots as the the STL files to print them off. And it amazes me how many there are now compared to when I last looked about 6 months ago. 6 months ago there was nothing. It was all fantasy and stuff. But there's definitely more coming online now that you can actually buy and do.
You can just buy the stuff, can't you? So there is now pilots out there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And
what do they look like? Can you print us one off so we can see the quality, please?
Yeah, but then I've got to buy the file, which is then 35 quid.
How much?
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you can print how many you want off.
You can do, yeah.
And then we could sell them at a small...
No, but you can't because it's copyright.
No, I know we can't. Oh dear. Just alter it slightly. But yeah, no, it's going to be the future, isn't it?
Could do an F-14 pilot with a scarf flying from the back of his.
Yeah, and his goggles on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray says he's amazed with the new glues, photo etch, and aftermarket. My question is, what is the easiest way to find aftermarket products available for any particular kit? Thanks. To be honest, a lot of the bigger stores out there now, you can do the thing where you just pop onto their site, pop in their kit, and they'll list all the aftermarket that's available for it. Or you can go onto things like ScaleMates as well. If you go on there, you can put in the kit. If it's been around a while, so they've managed to update it, they can go in and put in all the aftermarket for it. But general, just Google searches and stuff, or just pop on a forum and say, "What would you do with?" and everyone will list it. So.
Just to say, me putty has actually worked again. It's quite smooth, all right.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, Caesar says he's doing one of the one set of improvement for his Tammy Porsche 911 with air inlets, wheels, tyres, and scribing templates for the 124th, and 3D printing them. They find a way to make it available for people. Oh, that's cool.
John's off to the dentist. Have fun.
Oh dear. Has he actually got an appointment? He's a bit lucky.
See, Frank, the thing is, the 3D, he says there, the texture of 3D printing needs to be refined. Depends what you're doing, isn't it? Because obviously Andy's, which is what, the SLT? What's yours? Because he's got a mouthful. So PLA, which is really is like this stuff's made of, it's like a record. So with the grooves going round, but SLA, is it Nod?
If you use a resin printer, you literally cannot see the steps between it at all.
No, well, there is none really. I'm not being funny. Andy did me the refueling baskets for the VC10. 3D printed those for me, and they are the finest thing you'll ever see in your life. They are absolutely like blades, and I didn't think you could do that thin. And they came out fine, and there is no graininess into it whatsoever. And
they're only what, a centimetre?
Yeah.
So when you get all the little pins in the baskets,
Hold on, I don't know if I got a close-up picture of one. I think I did. Did I get a shot of one? There you go. So there you go, like that. Well, it's still not a brilliant one, but that section here is 3D printed. So these blades coming off of it, all the veins off of it, and the neck and all the rest of it, that was all 3D printed to go through. So as you can see, but the veins, as you can see the distance between them, there's absolutely hardly anything in it at all. But there is no graininess in that at all. So.
Yeah, that Caesar says he's printing in 0.001.
There you go.
I mean, I think standard 0.03. But yeah, you can't see it at all.
No. So yes, that's a better picture of it. That's what you want. And what's your printer, Andy?
Mine's a Elegoo Mars. Elegoo Mars Pro.
I think it's raining here. It's a bit biblical out there.
Is it?
It's absolutely hammering. I mean, I don't know if can you hear that? It's proper biblical. Hold on.
Is it bouncing?
Look.
You get live weather watch as well, look.
Yeah, that's it. Live weather. It's on there. Oh, it is on there. Sorry, I didn't know which camera we were on. Yes. It's a bit biblical.
Yep. Finish it, Gordon. Well, it's not as finished as I wanted it to be. I was planning on doing a lot more weathering on it, but since I'm supposed to be building that and the catapult for it, and I've spent a month, and all I've done is that. I started to crack on and get the Matilda out of the way, so I just put a fail. It's added a flooring wash over it. And a flat coat, not too bad at all.
That's it. I could do weather forecasts. We have the weather coming in from the west, as it is, because west's that way to me.
She's got the Elegoo Mars as well. And a Sonic Mini 4K.
What's that?
Yeah, not that big improvement. It's quality expected. Do you find it any quicker? Because the 4K ones are mono screens, aren't they? Rather than being the colour ones. It's supposed to be about 20-30% quicker. But
Adam's got a question. Hi team, looking for a new 1/35 scale armoured kit. What would you suggest? I love Soviet, Russian stuff, but open to suggestions. Do a Russian Matilda.
yeah, that's Russian.
Get yourself the new Tamiya KV1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one if you're into World War II ones. There's loads in there. There's so many out there now. It's
so any of the Tamiya kits go together nicely, don't they? Apart from, and I keep saying it, the T62 was designed to a motorised one, but it's, even though a lot of the others were, that's just not a very good one.
Tell you what, the T55 is good though. That's a really good kit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like I say, because honestly, like, there's a Vesta 35th still good if you want 35th. ICM do some, don't they? If you like T34s anyway.
Yeah.
It's so many. Just probably avoid, they're a bit complicated, is the mini art stuff at the minute. If you're only just starting out in doing 35th. So, yeah.
It's when you have to put 10 parts together, do one suspension unit into, and then.
Yeah, they're a bit parts heavy, aren't they? Even the non-interior kits. I wouldn't say they're for the beginner, for sure. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Men go together well as well, don't they? As long as the tracks can be awkward.
I've done a few Meng things now, and as I say, I quite like Meng. It goes together. You know, it's just one of those kits that goes together.
Just think it, trumpeter kits as well. If you want some modern T62s and 72 trumpeter kits, are brilliant and they're nice to build. So yeah.
Pete says, is the Tamiya Chieftain still good model, and does it have rubber tracks?
Yes, it's dated, but it's cheap.
I was going to say, it was one of our kits, wasn't it? From Tamiya, when we did the Tamiya show. It's one of those cheap kits, but it goes together.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, again, it's like the Tacken one you can't get now. So.
Phil says, hello from across the pond. On a typical day, how many builds do you have on a go at any one time? Not as many. Normally 2 for me. I tend to only do 2 any one time at the moment.
I've got 3.
Define on the go.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is an whole separate show when Andy's.
Yeah, that's it.
What I'm working on then, what you're working on, not what you've got on the go, that's a bit different. So what I'm working on is I've got the E-Type Jag, which I've started, obviously the little tank, and I've got one at home, which is a dragon kit that I've dug back up again, that I started last year, and I've revisited it.
I normally only have one, possibly two. But well aware that I need to really crack on with the Serrado, so this will be the one I'm doing now until get bored with it and start something else.
C60.
Or is it C60?
No, what's the other one then? 60s. That's what you ain't done that yet.
No, I've not done that yet. Yeah, but that's got another 2 months after this one's finished, hasn't it? So
no pressure.
Yes.
Fine.
This A to B putty stuff. It's a bit sticky. I should have put some water on it. I might have made myself some sandbags. So that.
But the crack dries out.
I don't know. I want to see what it's like. I can't texture it. Guess what I've not got here either? Cocktail sticks. Why have I got no cocktail sticks? Well, there's loads in boxes upstairs, but I ain't got any down here, or any sculpting tools. Yeah, so it's actually quite nice stuff. It needs a bit of water on it because my hands are. Yeah, is that? No, perhaps not. Best not put my hand in that.
Yeah, stick it in cold coffee.
No.
Wash my hands.
Can you see that? Can you see how scummy that is?
Oh, nice. Yeah. What have you?
Nice.
Looks like you've washed something out in that as it is, like a couple of brushes.
I know what that is actually at the bottom. It's the textured pasty stuff. You know, I do my diorama, that one. I'll just clean it, wash it out because it's water-based stuff in it, like water-based paste. So yeah.
Gordon says you can never do work on one model at a time. My brain can't multitask. I wonder if I have Asperger's. And he says, although my most productive time of the day is between 3:30 and 7:30. Myself, Matt, Nathan and John, and sometimes Phil, we always meet up about 7:30ish, don't we, for an hour or so, hour and a half. And normally Nathan does a load of modelling and the rest of us end up yakking and talking and
bit easily distracted. I'm definitely not an afternoon person. I'm a morning person. Afternoon I'm pretty and then I'll get second wind in the evening. But I've never been an afternoon person. I'm definitely a morning person, up and about, and that's my most productive time, I think, in the morning.
Because normally, if it wasn't obviously for the live shows, I do all my building is normally from midday down to around about 4. That's when I'm doing my building work, things like that. Sometimes early in the morning, but normally in the morning's taken up with other stuff. So, as I say, doing the orders or the washes, sanders and stuff like that. So it's just finding the time. And then late afternoon for me is always editing. So it used to be when we used to do the show finish and then go and edit it, which is a bit weird doing this because I don't have to edit it. But normally if I was doing like the Q&A show, like now, I'd then go and edit it. And then when me and Matt used to do the show, I'd then go and edit it. So it used to be the panic to get it done for 6 o'clock. So rush upstairs, get it sorted, get it uploaded, get everyone saying, when's it going up? And you're like, it's going, I'm doing it. So yes, that's the only good thing to this. No editing. Don't have to edit these shows because they're live.
Cool. So I think that's about it. Shall we wrap up? It's 4 o'clock.
It is.
Just asked, says, how's the Rebel Jaguar going? Been wondering if it were possible to convert it into the Jaguar low drag racing version. That had a lower roof line though, didn't it?
Did it? Don't know.
Yeah. Sure, it got like a lower roof, so you'd have to chop the roof down and make it.
Seems a lot of work, doesn't it? But no, here you go. Here's the shell. So, take on it. There you go. As a kit, it's all right so far from what I did. Yeah, it's gone together, no problem. So yeah, good. Looks like an E-type, doesn't it, Andy?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, looks. Yeah. And that the way the bonnet fits onto the thing, really nice.
It's got good gaps and stuff. So yeah, and I have sort of mounted the body onto the, tub chassis, whatever you want to call it, and it fits pretty good. It's a good fit. So yes,
still kit of the year, is it?
Oh yeah, and manufacturer of the year.
Box art of the year.
It is only just February, so
yeah.
Just last one here. Ed says, can I demonstrate searching and viewing your bench extractor review? It's easy to do on YouTube, but on the Flory site, I find it quite difficult after entering keywords. It's not keyworded. To be honest, there's thousands and thousands and literally thousands of videos which aren't even on the site, and they're not even linked or anything else like that. When we moved to the new site, it just wasn't viable to do it. Because that review's like, whatever it is, 10 years old or something now, it wasn't, one of those priority ones. It was more a priority of moving all the videos over. So I brought initially, I think it was 70 videos, full build videos over. We did those, did them all the bits and pieces for it, all the photos, all the text and everything's brought over from the old site. Then I went through the reviews, but some of it obviously hasn't made it over. And that's why people are saying about, you haven't got this build on there and you can't find that build anymore. It's clearly, they just haven't come out. I've got about 40 videos still to bring over. It's a bit like we were saying the Airfix build for the 109. That was a classic. I forgot all about it. So there's lots and lots. Tumblr, I still haven't brought Tumblr over as well, which is one to do. And there's all the Star Wars stuff, never made it over either. So it's just one of those things. It's just time. It's me, myself and I. And when you're doing it, you sort of prioritize the important stuff. So things like that, it's just down in there. If you're after those, if you just go literally into the review section, and then you just go into the tools one, which is this little guy down in here, you'll notice there's hardly any in here. Out of the literally hundreds and hundreds of tool reviews we've done, obviously the newer ones from the last few years are on here, but all the rest of them never made it across. And again, that's that thing. There you go. There's the bench bent one. All the others we didn't really bring across because either they're old, they're out of date and probably not worth it, but you will still find them on YouTube because obviously they were uploaded to YouTube. So it's just a case of what time you've got and how you can afford to do it and everything else. So, yes.
Just quickly before we go.
Hold on. James, did you ever get to the bottom of the ripple in the plastic on the door of the E-type? A mate of mine had a V12 E-type and I do not remember any ripples in the door. To be honest, it's the moulding. It's not based off about, I don't know. But yeah, mine's got it as well. Especially on the passenger side, I think we said, didn't we?
Yeah, it's only on the passenger side.
So our near side, and it's just when you look down it there. So it just runs across that. It's not all.
You sort of catch it in the light, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, and you can see, like, especially on the door. I don't think the wing's too bad, nor the rear quarter. It's just on that door, isn't it? There.
Yeah.
So I think it might have been pulled out of the mould a bit quick. I don't know, something to do with how it's done, but the driver's side's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, driver's side's fine. It was literally just on the...
To be honest, a swipe with a sanding stick, I reckon, will just get that out, or prime it and just knock it down. It's you can feel it, but it's not terrible, is it?
No. It's one of those, I think by the time you put paint onto it, you probably won't even see it. Because by the time it's got a primer onto it, a coat of paint and a coat of lacquer, I don't think you'll notice it then. It will level itself all out.
Just quickly on, Phil says, being an old limit sailor circa 1980 and looking for a good A6 model, what do you suggest? Thanks again. Depends what you want, what scale you want, doesn't it, I suppose? But
yes, so 48 scale, going to be Hobby Boss.
Yeah.
And then obviously 32nd, it'll be jumping to Hobby Boss. And then 72nd, Hasegawa, Fujami.
Yeah.
Fujimi kit's actually not bad at all. Done that one. But say Hasegawa do them.
What about Italeri?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I don't know. I've never built the Italeri one. So
was Tamiya, was that an Italeri remix?
Yeah.
I can speak for the Fujimi one. I've done 2 of those, and they've been very nice. They go together all right.
Yeah. Probably that one.
I've done the Hobby Boss 48. That was a really nice kit.
Yes. Very cool.
Cool.
Right. Okie dokie. Well, look, if we're done for today then, gentlemen, we will call it quits right there. Don't forget, you can catch us tomorrow afternoon. Same bat channel, same bat place for the PM show. So we'll be talking all things kits and things. So I don't know what we'll be talking about tomorrow. We covered a lot last week. So, but no, we'll be back on for that one around about sort of 2 o'clock as well. So if you want to come and join us for that one, it'd be a pleasure to have you along as always. Don't forget, a like would be handy. Apparently it works well for the algorithm.
Does it? Okay.
Hey, all I'm saying is because we had 10,000 people watching the other one, it's gone through the roof, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I've done a like.
That's it. Everyone like it, 'cause it must help, because there's something gone massive with the last Thursday's show. It's gone very well, so we like that. It's got lots of likes and things, and I think that sort of helps.
Might because it had a big Airfix logo on it.
I was thinking, like, just put a big Tamiya logo
I'll just put a big Tamiya. Well, that's what I'll tell you what. Tomorrow, I'll just put a big Tamiya one on and see what happens.
Yeah, or somebody else's. Just a big logo of, you know, and we'll see how many we get.
Just see what happens onto it. But yes. Right. Okay then, guys, we are out of here. Thank you very much. Please remember, stay safe, take care of each other, but most of all, happy modelling. Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.